Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about estate planning. Yes, estate planning. In fact, this is something that my wife and I have been discussing. What happens after we've left this planet, and I know that's an uncomfortable topic, subject for some people. And to be honest with you, I'm 59 and I never thought at 59, my father would have been gone, well, for 9 years now. And I think I mentioned that 11 months after I opened up the practice, I lost my dad unexpectedly. And so, the idea that, my mom might go too is a little daunting. And so when it comes to estate planning, people don't want to think about, well, what happens when I'm not here? What's going to happen to my family? Who's going to take care of them? And so this article that I'm going to put a link to in the description of the video really talks about the emotional side of estate planning. First of all, why should you, be working on your estate plan? Why should you allow us to help you? Which is something that we can absolutely do. Well, first of all, obviously, we're all going to shuffle off this planet at some point. I know we don't like to think about it, but we will. And if you've got, assets, that you've worked hard to obtain and maintain, we want to make sure that, first of all, if there's beneficiaries, people that we're leaving behind, we want to make sure there's no fighting about who gets what, right? It's in writing and we've planned for it and this is the way it is. And obviously whatever you have desired to give to each person is in writing and it's very, very clear. Obviously, if you don't have some estate planning done, then the family members are going to be going through the probate process, which means there's a whole court involvement in what I think is a very private matter between family members. So you really want to take care of this if you can help it, and we can definitely assist you with that. The other thing that I think you should consider, and it's really relevant to the work that we do. Obviously, if you have a family member who has a behavioral health issue, we want to make sure they're provided for, right? Obviously, if somebody relapses after we leave the planet, right, after we pass, if they have some type of break, we want to make sure there is something structurally, legally in place so that we can make sure they get the help they need, but also to make sure that they don't use assets to sort of support or encourage the relapse or the break, right? We want to make sure there's an environment left after we pass that helps them to get back in the game, right? To get back on the proverbial horse as it is. So that's something to consider. So it says here, estate planning decisions can affect family relationships for years, right? And if mom and dad left one sibling more than the other, I mean, you could see where this could go south very, very quickly. It says here, it's not uncommon during a loved one's incapacity or after their death for family members to go head to head because of a well-intentioned decision someone who can no longer answer for themselves made, or that has come to light. Where rifts exist, the effect on relationships can be devastating and long-lasting or permanent. Even the most tight-knit family members can turn on one another. I mean, nothing worse than siblings fighting over, assets after somebody has passed. Although the documents that comprise an estate plan, a will, a trust, advance directive and powers of attorney, healthcare proxies, things of that nature, if you gloss over these documents and the decisions you make in reference to them may affect family relationships, you missed a critical part of the estate planning process to prevent unnecessary stress during a family crisis, right? Somebody passes, somebody's in hospital and about to pass, and you've got all this tension going on, and it's unnecessary, okay? We don't want to cause a family rift where we don't have to. So, look, if you're a family out there and you want to have this conversation with us about estate planning, call us. We can help you. Wills, trusts, healthcare proxy, powers of attorney, documents that will help you, right, when somebody has either passed or has become incapacitated. Or, maybe even during the Baker Act situation. Now, as I've said in other videos, we can't stop the state from stepping in, right? I can't stop the state from Baker Acting you. I can't stop the state from arresting you. But especially when there's a Baker Act, if there are, documents that say who gets to make decisions, it can certainly help things, right? We want to make sure that even if a Baker Act facility has your loved one locked up, they understand, that there's documents out there that say who should control what. And at least at that point, we have something we can go into court with and seek to enforce. So just some things to consider. If you have any comments or questions, please post them. I read all of them, and I typically respond within 24 hours, as long as we're all respectful, because that's important, right? If you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want more of this content, please subscribe to the channel. I put a video out or two every single day. I want you to get the information that you need so you can decide if you want to have a conversation with us. And anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.